guys? I'm Kel, Red Zone Rogue, and welcome to the CCG Graveyard. This time, as you can see here, we are talking about Wyvern. This is actually one of my favorite old dead CCGs from the 90s. This game was actually printed by Cartamundi, the same company that did Vampire: The Eternal Struggle, Jihad, Magic: The Gathering, and many others, which is really cool. You can see a lot of similarities in like the packaging and just the booster packs I have right here. But before we get into that, let's talk about the game itself. So the game did come out in the 90s, around 1994 and 1995. The game lasted until 1997. There was only 2 real expansions of it and kind of like 3 different core set printings. And I have some sealed product here of some of these things. There's one expansion set that I can't find anywhere online, and I will go into that as well in a little bit. But you know, without further ado, let's just start looking at some of the stuff. These are some booster packs. We're going to open up these at the end of the video along with something pretty special. So let's set these aside for now, put them above old Liliana's head, and let's take a look at some of the sealed product that I have. I'm not really going to open up right here, but I might open up in a future video if you guys are interested in this. So this is a sealed booster box of the limited edition set. This is actually the second set. The first set was the Premier limited edition, and you can think of that as kind of like your alpha beta, and this one's kind of like, this one's more like your unlimited, I suppose. This is more like your beta, I guess. This one actually has more cards than the Premier Limited. This one has 225, as you can see right here, and the other one only has, I believe, 136, something like that. We're gonna go into that in a second because I do have some sealed Premier Limited Edition, not in a booster box, but this is what this is. It's pretty cool. Some of the packs we're gonna open today are of this set. As you can see, like I said, printed by Cartamundi. It does have the circle seal on the booster box. What else? Game of Dragons, Dragon Slayers, and Treasure. I haven't really talked about the game yet. As you can see here, this is kind of like the art style of it. It's very old-timey, and I'm going to go into the art as well. So just hold on to that thought for a second. So this is the limited edition. So there was the Premier Limited Edition, the Limited Edition, and they look exactly the same except for these right here. It says Limited Edition, and the other one says Premier Limited Edition. And there's another set that's basically the same thing as this, and it's called Kingdom, and it has almost the exact same cards in it, except it has a little bit of the cards from the Phoenix expansion. And this is the Phoenix expansion, another sealed box. Here you can see the circle seal. And like I said, the Kingdom edition is basically the exact same as the Limited, but it has a couple cards from the Phoenix expansion, and that's only in the starter decks. So if you buy a booster box of Wyvern Kingdom, it's the exact same as the limited edition, almost the exact same, except there's like a little symbol in one of the corner of the card, kind of like a magic card symbol. So this is the Phoenix set. This actually is a pretty hard set to get. The booster packs in this set are only 8 cards, very similar to like old school Magic booster packs that had only 8 cards. I have one here that we're going to open up, one loose one, and the regular packs have 15. So yeah, that's like kind of the difference there. What else about this? Oh yeah, the Phoenix set does not have rares. It just has like harder to get uncommons, and there's only 4 like kind of hard to get uncommons. We'll see if we get one in the booster pack. I might open this one up in the future. I have more of these actually. Like I said, I really like this game. I've actually started collecting it recently because you can find this stuff for pretty cheap if you like bargain hunt. I've gotten a lot of these boxes for like less than 20 bucks. Not including shipping. Shipping's pretty expensive. With shipping, they're usually like 30 to 40. But still, man, I love this old shit. Especially like Cartamundi stuff. It just feels like I'm opening old Magic. Or I'm like, it's like the experience of opening old Magic for the first time, especially if you don't know what the cards and that kind of stuff is. So this one's the Phoenix set. There's one more expansion called Chameleon, and I should have a graphic on that on the screen right now. I don't have any Chameleon. I can't find any Chameleon sealed product on the internet. It's like all bought out or something. I don't know. If you guys know of any of it, let me know. I would love to buy some at a reasonable price. But yeah, so that's this. I also have a sealed starter deck box. I've bought actually a lot of these sealed starters. There's a lot of these on the internet. This one is a limited edition. I actually have a Premier limited edition starter deck box that I've opened up a little bit, and I'll talk about that in a second because that one is actually very, very special. But yeah, you can find these online. There's like a seller who has like a bunch of these for 18 bucks. Shipping's pretty expensive. It's like 15. But you do get a lot of starter decks in there. I think you better value is to buy a booster box because you get more rares in a booster box than you would in one of these starter deck boxes. But like I said, they're pretty common. You can find them out there. They're also quite heavy. And so we got that. This one I'm not opening. I actually have 3 or 4 other ones that I've opened up and just looked at the cards and had a good time with. But this one is a really nice condition, as you can see. Also, the circle seal that Cardamundi, a lot of their stuff has. But yeah, this is a pretty nice one. I'm leaving this one sealed for my collection, I suppose. And then finally for the sealed product today, I have this Premier Limited Edition Starter Deck box. And what makes this one so special, as you can see I've opened up a lot of these already, is that there's a famous misprint in these, specifically the Premier Limited Edition starter decks. Not the booster packs, only in the starter decks. There's a pretty famous misprint where there's Magic the Gathering fronts and Wyvern backs. So I could open up one of these and they would be, that have Magic the Gathering fronts. Specifically Fallen Empires fronts. So yeah, I have 3 sealed starter decks here. I'm going to open up one of them in this video. So let's, which one do you want to say? Good Adventures go left? Or do you want to go down the middle? Let's go down the middle. I think that's pretty cool. We'll go down the middle and we'll see what is in this guy in this video. I'm going to leave these 2, maybe one of them for a future video, but I'm definitely keeping one of them sealed for my personal collection. And I'll add this to the product that we're going to be opening. So 1 starter deck, 2 booster packs of limited, so 1 Premier Limited starter deck, 2 booster packs of just straight up limited, and 1 Phoenix. I was gonna call it Wyvern. And I believe here you can see. Does it say how many cards are in the set? I don't think it does. But in any case, let's move on. I do want to talk about a couple things before we open these up. So the first one is the art style, and let me just lower this here. This is what I think of when I see the Wyvern art style, like old school Arthurian, British medieval artwork, and I love it. I think it gives like this really cool sense of like old timiness to this card game, and like the sense of wonder and ancientness that other games don't have. And I know the art style is very maligned. It's very thought of as like plain or ugly or boring, but I actually really, really love it. I think it's a good change of pace from something like Magic or even like Force of Will. Like I think it's a good like old-timey pace. And I'm gonna close this without hitting the thing. This is this Legends of Chivalry book that I have, this medieval myth book that I really love. But this is what the art reminds me of. I'm a huge fan of this kind of artwork, Anglo-Saxon, like really cool, like old school artwork. And with that said, I also have this book to show you. This is the Wyvern, the Insider's Guide book. This is actually printed by US Game Systems, which is the company behind Wyvern. They were, the cards are printed with Cardamundi, but they're not a Wizards of the Coast game. It's a US Systems or US Games Systems game. And this one is really good if you like Wyvern and want to collect Wyvern. It tells you like a bunch of strategies, deck building tips, tournament things. It even has like a visual spoiler of all the cards in Kingdom. But yeah, like here's like a quick visual spoilers. You can kind of see what the cards look like, kind of like this old school dragony kind of art, which I really like. I already talked about that, but this is actually a really good pickup if you are into Wyvern. There's some pretty sad things in this where they talk about like the future of the game. Here's where they go over like the expansions. I guess there's only 135 in the Premier Limited. Here's the limited edition. Here's the little dot that I talked about that's on the bottom. Goes over these. You can actually pause this and read these if you'd like in your own time. Once again, I find this all very, very interesting. I do want to read one little excerpt from this. So this is the conclusion written by Mike Fitzgerald, the creator of the game. And it says, there are also plans for other games in the Kingdom of Wyvern. These will be mini collectible games, which will add to the total atmosphere of the game we have created. I really wonder what they were going to do with that shit. Obviously, the game went under and failed, but I'm really curious as to what plans they had. And it says, we hope you enjoy exploring the Kingdom of Wyvern as much as we've enjoyed creating it. That's just really sad to me. Like, this game's really cool. The mechanics are totally different from, like, Magic or anything like that. This is almost a wholly unique game. Something I've never really played before. Well, I mean, I've played it, but nothing, like, I've never played anything similar to this. Yeah, it's just all a little sad. If you do think Wyvern is interesting and want to check this out, you can find these books on Amazon for like 10 or 11 bucks. So yeah, I know some of them come with like special sealed casing that actually have starter decks inside of them. I couldn't find one, but I got this one for like $11. And without further ado, whatever, let's crack into this. Let's do we'll save this one for last because this is kind of like the piece de resistance. These actually sell for quite a bit online. I actually got mine at a really good deal. I don't think they knew what they had. But yeah, let's do the limited edition. We'll do Wyvern and then we'll finish it off with the Premier limited editions. Alright, so here we have a booster pack of limited edition Wyvern. As I said before, it's a 15 card booster pack. Anything else about this? I don't think I've actually read any of these, even though I've opened up probably like 60 to 100 of these booster packs so far. Like I said, I've started collecting this game. I think it's awesome, and it's like pretty cheap. You can read this if you want. All the artwork for basically the first two sets, for the limited edition, Premier limited edition, and most of Phoenix, is done by one guy, and he does like some really cool like Tolkien, Hobbit, Lord of the Rings kind of art too. He does a pretty interesting style. Anyway, let's open this up. Oh wait, before I do that, I do want to say, like, you can definitely tell these were printed by Cartamundi. I mentioned this at the beginning, but old Magic the Gathering booster packs like Fallen Empires, Revised, they kind of have like this almost monochrome color with this like strip down the side. I remember opening up booster packs of Fallen Empires and Revised as a kid, and they were exactly like this. So anyway, yeah, let's open this up. Alright, so I'm opening up the pack. The distribution of the commons, uncommons, and rares in the pack are very much like Old School Magic. The first 3 cards are uncommon, and then it's a rare, and then the rest are commons. And I'm not going to slow roll this. Let's just go from the start. I know it wants to focus in on Lily's face, so let's just go with this. We have a Lindworm. We have a Hurricane. So this is like a terrain style card. These and the dragons are both played like face down, like a Fog of War type thing, which is really cool. Oh, this is a pretty sweet card. Celestial. He's actually a pretty powerful dragon. He's a 5 strength flying dragon. Kind of reminds me of like a Shivon dragon type of thing, except he's like a Chinese dragon. And then the rare for this pack is, oh dude, this is actually a really sweet rare. This is blue. So any of the dragons that just have a color name, the name is up here in the top right corner. This is the card type, dragon. This is the cost of the card. You also pay the cost of the strength along with the gold cost. But any of these, the colored ones, blue, red, yellow, black, these are actually all incredibly powerful. So he has a strength of 5. He's a super flyer, which means he can fly over 2 terrain pieces. He can actually basically attack anything on the field. He's immune to Dragon Slayers, which is really cool. Dragon Slayers is a type of card that slays dragons or like fucks with your dragons. Pretty cool. Yeah, it says it can attack any card, and it says you draw an extra card in each of your draw phases. That blue is face up. This card is actually really, really sweet. This is one of my favorite cards. I only have one of them so far, so it's cool. And then we have our commons. As you can see, like I mentioned before, this is like the art style, very old school. We have the Pyrendius Tree. I'm going to go over these really quickly. We have Sir Lancelot. It's a Dragon Slayer. As you can see, Sir Lancelot kills any dragon of 3 or less strength. So yeah, just straight up Dragon Slayer. Pretty cool that I got one after talking about it. We have this dopey looking Gold Thief. Not all the art is great. I don't think this is that good. He's pretty silly looking. We have Night Village. St. George, another Dragon Slayer. He removes any one treasure from the game. Like destroys treasure. Oh, here's a treasure. This is Princess Libya. She kind of protects your dragons from Dragon Slayers. Well, he must rescue Libya before he can remove it. Actually, no, he protects your shit from St. George. So it's actually interesting. We got these like back to back. We got this crystal ball. There's actually a couple of commons that are really hard to get. Like, I've opened up, like I said, almost 100 packs, and I've only ever gotten a couple of some of them. This is actually one of the more rare ones, the Frost Breathing. A Dwarven Army is a pretty common one. And then we have a Firebolt. Let's open up another pack. You know, to me, it's always, like, really interesting opening up these. It's like, these packs were made at the same time that some of the old school Magic stuff was made. And these have, like, the same, you know, card feel and texturism, because they were both printed by Cartamundi. Just feels like I'm opening up old Magic cards. It feels like I was a kid. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I love this so much. Anyway, this card is Mo-O. It's like a Hawaiian dragon. It's pretty interesting. We have the Hydra. This card's a really sweet card. Keep trying to focus in on Lily's face. I'm gonna have this off center. And then we have the Bride's Serpent, also pretty cool. And then the rare is, oh dude, the Wyvern Shadow. This is one of the rares I do not have. If this was a premier limited edition pack, this would be like an ultra rare. There's like a gold Wyvern and a silver Wyvern, and those were like the super chase cards that you could get, and you could like mail them in for like straight up cash and stuff. This is really sweet. I do not have a Wyvern Shadow, so I'm really glad to get this one. And then we have a Weaver, a Subterranean River, another St. George, a Thor. Look at Thor. He looks ridiculous. Look at that. Oh, I love it. I don't think Thor looks very good. Fireball, Prendius Tree, Crystal Ball. Like I said, I do really like a lot of the artwork. Like, this looks sweet. Fire Breathing, Treasure Room. I mean, this looks sweet too. Like, I really like the old school feel. Lake, and then Ra. And Ra looks really derpy. Alright, next up we have this Phoenix pack of Wyvern. Like I said before, the Phoenix pack only has 8 cards in it and doesn't have any rares. I'm not sure about the distribution of where the uncommons are and anything like that. I haven't actually opened up very much Phoenix. So yeah, let's just get on to it. I love the little price tag here. Alright, so the first card is a little rule insert, always in one of these Phoenix pack. Anyway, that's what this is. Just kind of little rules insert kind of thing. It's actually pretty good card stock. The first card we have here is Mermaid. We have the Dragon on Strike. Look at this guy. You got a little something that says Strike on it. Oh, I love it. It's ridiculous. We have the Wandering Rocks. Centaurs. We have like these shining silver centaurs. Sir Galahad. This is pretty sweet. Another Dragon Slayer card. He kills any dragon of 4 or more strength. So he only kills like strong dragons. We have a dragon. This is the Ethiopian Dream. So it's like an African dragon. That's pretty sweet. We have, what is this? Tatsu. Tatsu's pretty cool looking. Like a Chinese style dragon. And then finally we have the White-Eared Dragon. Pretty sweet. Alright, and finally, for this video, let's open up this sealed Premier Limited Edition starter deck. I can say that the regular Limited Edition starter decks don't have this gold, like, pull tab thing right here. Yeah, let's get this shrink wrap off. I'm going to fast forward through this, and we will crack into this. Alright, got the shrink wrap off. There is going to be more shrink wrap inside, but first, let's take a look at this. I think I already looked at this a little bit before. You can see the MSRP of $7.95 down here. Let's pop this open and maybe we get some magic. I don't think so. Well, no big deal. We did not get any of the fancy Fallen Empires fronts, but we did still get a really sweet pack of Wyvern Premier Limited Edition. So let's open this up. So I think the easiest way of opening these sealed starter decks up is actually getting a box cutter and cutting along the rule booklet like so. It's going to be a little fuzzy because of Liliana, but we got it, and then you just kind of like peel it off. Alright, so the rarity breakdown for the starter decks are the 13 cards before the rulebook right here. These are all uncommon, and the 2 cards immediately after that are the 2 rares. And there's only 2 rares per starter deck, which is why you get more rares if you just buy a booster box. And this guy is the Pakao Jack. I think he's actually a pretty cool card. He looks cool. We have the Kakutan, just a straight up Griffin. The Vitra, Sean, Leviathan, Naga, got like a bearded dragon here. The Gargoyle, or Gargoyle, Scylla, got like 5 boobs, 5 boob dragon. We have Cliff, Gani, Wall, another Kakutan, and then we have the starter, or the instruction booklet. Usually these are upside down, at least in the premier one, or I mean in the regular limited, but let's just see what our rares are. Let's not beat around the bush. So our first rare is the Shapeshifter. Here's the little how to play booklet. Shapeshifter is actually a pretty cool rare. I own one already, but I think it's a pretty cool one. And And then we have, oh, Doomsday. This is kind of like your Wrath of God for this game. If Wyvern ever took off, this would be like probably an expensive card. There's another one kind of like Time Walk as well. It's like a snowstorm or something that gives, or makes your opponent lose a turn instead of you gaining a turn. But yeah, it's a pretty cool card. And then we have our commons, and I'm gonna go through these pretty quickly because these ones aren't super exciting, and we might have seen some of these already. Oh, Beowulf. This is actually one of my more favorite arts. The guy actually looks kind of cool. And Beowulf is actually an area of study for my girlfriend. She's really into the Old English, actually. Meteor Shower, Golden Apples, Hailstorm, Jewels, got some treasure, got a wand. Let's go through this a little bit quicker, too. I'm just going to flip through these. Got some Poison Gas. Ooh, we've got another Dragon Slayer. We got Lancelot, Magical Sword. Get a lot of these. Magical Healing. I mean, if you just open up starter decks, you'll end up with a shitload of a lot of these cards. Wyvern, this is actually one of the more common cards. Just a Wyvern. Not too bad. It's a 4-strength flyer. Gold. We got another Princess Libya, and we have a Marina. And that's almost it. Got some help. Got a Possession spell. Another St. George. Tsunami with some gold of the back of here rubbed off. I have noticed this. I mean, these cards are over 20 years old, so they've been sitting sealed like this for like over 20 years. And the gold on the back does rub off on some of the cards. Got a gold apple. Got a Typhon. Just some gold. Dragon hoarding up some gold. Magic Potion, ending off with a Lancelot. So yeah, guys, that is my CCG Graveyard episode on Wyvern. I didn't really go on how to play the game. There's a lot of information out there on how to play Wyvern. It's actually a really cool game. It's actually not too hard to learn, not too complicated, I suppose you can say. It's not like Magic. You just start out with 25 gold and then you use that gold to play your cards. So it's like kind of like a resource management game with like a Fog of War aspect, and you have like power-up cards and stuff. You can pump up your dragons and stuff. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun. I like Wyvern a lot. Like I said, I like it so much that I've started collecting it, especially because it's so damn cheap right now. It might not be this cheap forever because it is over 20 years old, but in any case, guys, I hope you liked the video. If you do want to pick up Wyvern, I would highly suggest, unless you specifically want the Magic front face cards, which is a very uncommon misprint, the Premier Limited Edition doesn't have as many cards as like the straight up Limited Edition. And Limited Edition or Kingdom Edition, if you buy a booster box, it doesn't really matter which one it is because they have the exact same cards in it, unless you buy a starter deck of the Kingdom, which I haven't seen any starter decks of Kingdom online recently. But yeah, if you can pick it up for cheap, Limited Edition is probably the way to go. It's probably the most common one and the cheapest one you can get. Phoenix is pretty uncommon. I've only seen a couple listings out there, and I picked up the cheap ones, so might be some now. And yeah, I think I've already said this twice. If you like the video, then like, comment, subscribe. Every little bit helps. Stick around for the next CCG Graveyard video. I'm not entirely sure which game I'm going to do next. It might be a more recent one, like one that was discontinued in the last couple of years. I have a couple boxes of that, and maybe I'll talk about that one next. Or maybe I'll go for like Jihad or something. I have some of those cards. I won't always have sealed product like I do this. Some of the sealed product is actually really expensive, but I will see what I can get. I'm not really sponsored by anyone or anything, so all this is like out of my pocket. Anyway, guys, hope you liked it. Stick around for some more card game content on the channel. Obviously, more Forcible coming up. Yeah, see you guys later.